Welcome to Big Faces Worldwide, where we talk nothing but this boxing. What's good with your fam? Hey, listen, man, I got a lot to talk about. First up, man, Bob Arum comes out and he makes a statement, man. I think, Bob Arum, before the Errol Spence Jr. fight, Bob Arum was talking about, he said that he didn't think Mikey Garcia could win the fight, but he said that he would still hope to make the Lomachenko fight. Now, after the Mikey Garcia, Errol Spence Jr. get it on, Bob Arum comes out and says this. He says, unlike Mikey Garcia, Amir Khan goes into a fight intending to win. His boxing ability, which is phenomenal, could give Terence Crawford fits. He is capable of pulling off the upset. And then Top Rank's #1 matchmaker, Bruce Trampler, he goes on to say, amazing how the media supports Spence beating up a blown up lightweight and calling out an aging Pac-Man. But if Top Rank made Terence Crawford versus Mikey or Manny, we be condemned. Crawford's next challenger, Amir Khan, would beat Pac-Man or Mikey, so media experts demand Spence versus Crawford. Now, what I gotta say to this is this. I talked about it last week how, Bob Arum, didn't really want to make the fight with Terence Crawford because of the way he attacks Al Heyman in public. I mean, you cannot bash someone in public, drag his face all through the mud publicly, and then want to sit down at the table and do business with him. You know what I'm saying? In my opinion, Bob Arum is doing that because he knows, once he gets Al Heyman so frustrated and so mad, Al Heyman ain't going to want to do business with him. You know what I'm saying? Same thing here. He knows already that him and Mikey Garcia, they got bad blood, man. Mikey Garcia sat on the shelf for 2 whole years while in legal proceedings with Bob Arum and Top Rank, man. 2 prime years. Let me say that. He's Mikey Garcia, he's still in his prime, but, he was younger then and he was much more in his prime then. But he decided to sit on the shelf for 2.5 years to, figure out the legal problems with Top Rank to get out his contract because he feel he wasn't getting paid the type of money that he wanted to get paid. So there was issues with Bob Arum and Mikey Garcia. Now, Bob Arum is throwing more fuel on that fire. And I think that he's doing it because he's seen the way that Mikey Garcia withstood all the punishment from Errol Spence Jr. And he's seen how tough Mikey is. And he said to himself, oh my, how the hell is Vasily Lomachenko going to hurt this guy? There's no way Vasily Lomachenko can hurt Mikey Garcia if the boogeyman Errol Spence couldn't. That's just my opinion. I might be wrong, but that's just my opinion. There's no doubt in my mind Vasily Lomachenko wants to fight Mikey Garcia. Vasily Lomachenko thinks that he can beat Mikey Garcia. I think it would be a hell of a match. But his promoter is looking at, Vasily Lomachenko as the cash cow, you know what I'm saying? And he's afraid. He's afraid that, Mikey Garcia might thrash Lomachenko. So he's going out there adding fuel to the fire. Bob Arum didn't have to say nothing about that fight yesterday, especially nothing negative, man. And then Bruce Trampler going out there talking about how, how everybody's praising Errol Spence for beating up a blown out lightweight. If Top Rank did it, they would have been condemned and all that. You know what I'm saying? That's more fuel to the fire, man. But, out of the 2 fights, I think that Errol Spence and Terence Crawford will get made beforehand. You know what I'm saying? But I think both fights, we want to see both fights, man. But, Bob Arum is always, he always saying sound bites, man. He's going to make headlines. Bob Arum's going to speak his mind. You know what I'm saying? And some of the things, I wonder, is he just, getting old? You know what I'm saying? And then I think, nah, man, he's old, but he's sharp as a tack. Bob Arum's smart. He know what he's doing. You know what I'm saying? So everything's a strategy with Bob Arum. I'm just not sure his angle for saying these comments. I'm sure there is a cause. I'm sure there is an angle behind it. You know what I'm saying? But, both of these fights are now the biggest fights to be made in boxing. You know what I'm saying? Vasily Lomachenko versus Mikey Garcia, and Terrence Crawford versus Errol Spence. Both those two fights are the most sought out fights in the sport of boxing as of right now. Everybody wants to see it. Now, did Bob Arum make the fights easier to make, him and Bruce Trampler, by coming out with these statements, or did he make it harder to make these fights? You know what I'm saying? You got to look at it like that, man. Come on, Bobby. Come on, big shot, Bobby. Get it together, man. You want to make these fights, you got to start respecting each other, man. You know, if you want to conduct business, you got to respect one another, man, first of all. You know what I mean? You cannot disrespect somebody that you want to do business with, because the business is never going to work, man. You know what I'm saying? That person is always going to have that animosity, you know, deep inside. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, it should Amir Khan, Terrence Crawford be a huge success, I think it would be easier for this fight, you know, to be made between them, because there's so much money on the table. They got to get that bag, man. They got to get that bag. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, we'll see what happens. And then, out of nowhere, the special one, KELL Brook. Yes, yes, yes. He watched the Errol Spence beatdown of Mikey Garcia. And, you know, he's seen the 48,000 people there. You know what I'm saying? He's seen all the hype surrounded it, all the bright lights. And what's his name? KELL Brook. He's looking for that retirement check, man. He's been looking for that retirement check for quite a while, man. He couldn't get it with Amir Khan. You know what I'm saying? And the reason why I say he's looking for that retirement check, because he had fights that he could have fought, man. Jesse Vargas. He didn't even want to fight Jesse Vargas. You know what I mean? Who I consider a C+, B- fighter. Jesse came out and said, my half of the contract is signed. All I'm waiting on is KELL Brook to sign his side of the contract. KELL Brook didn't sign it, man. You know what I'm saying? But now he's coming out talking about how, you know, he thought that, you know, he was beating Errol Spence's ass until, you know, his eye got hurt, man. I got some quotes that I'm going to read from KELL Brook, man. You know, he says, I'm brand new. I'm ready for those massive fights. I've got plenty more to give the fans. I'm excited about these big fights. KELL Brook also went on to say, I believe Spence dominated the fight. That fight is still there for me. He still mentions my name. He would still like to fight me because he knows I was beating him. And he talks about the people around me know what my training camp was like for that fight. I was far from 100%, and I was beating him, and then the eye went. I would love to get that fight again. 100% me beats Errol Spence, and he's one of the biggest names in boxing. I think those fights are still there to be made. Now, that's the key word. He's one of the biggest names in boxing. You know what I'm saying? So that's why KELL Brook, you know, to his credit, he has been calling for this rematch for a while. You know what I'm saying? He has been calling for this rematch for a while. But in my opinion, man, KELL Brook is just looking for... Let me say this. I like KELL Brook. I always like KELL Brook. You can go back into my videos, and I've talked nothing but high praises for KELL Brook, man. But I'm not with him on this one, man, because, you know, he had guys like Jesse Vargas there for, you know, for a nice, decent amount of money, man, and he didn't want to take it. You know what I'm saying? He didn't want to take it. Now he sees how much Errol Spence brings to the table, and now he wants to come up out of whatever hole he was hiding in and put his name in a hat for the Errol Spence sweepstakes. You know what I'm saying, man? But I would love to see a KELL Brook Errol Spence rematch. You know what I'm saying? In his defense, KELL Brook was looking good before he got excuse me, before his eye got hurt. You know what I'm saying? He was giving Errol Spence a good run for his money. It was some back and forth action. You know what I'm saying? But Errol Spence beat him up, man. Beat him down, broke his will. You know what I'm saying? He broke his will. And once you break somebody's will, they'll never be the same, man. It's like you know, you ever go get a grown dog, man. I used to breed pit bulls. I used to, you know what I mean, you know, deal with pit bulls, man. And one time I got this grown dog. He was 3 years old. His name was Old Rambo. Big looking dog. He's about 75 pounds. Had his ears cropped, you know what I mean, black and white. Real nice coat. But he was 3 years old, man. He was, you know, he was grown. He was aggressive. He didn't know me. You know what I'm saying? But I broke his will. You know what I'm saying? I broke his will, and, you know what I'm saying, he never was aggressive with me again. You know what I'm saying? And the same thing with KELL Brook. Errol Spence broke his will. You know what I mean? So, and since then, we've never seen KELL Brook the same. You know what I mean? He's going up and down in weight. He's going up and down emotionally. You know what I mean? I don't know if KELL Brook is there mentally, man. The first fight, yeah, I got to give him credit. He was in the fight. It was a back and forth seesaw event, man. Until his eye got damaged. Yes, I can give him that. But Errol Spence beat him up, man. He beat him up. You know what I'm saying? He broke him down. He beat him up. And Errol Spence is a violent man. He's violent, yo. He's real violent. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know if KELL Brook can take that type of punishment again. You know what I'm saying? I seen parts in the fight where he fought the guy, who did he fight? Zarafa. You know what I'm saying? When Zarafa caught him with some shots and KELL had that look in his face that he had with Errol Spence, like, damn, I don't even know if I want to be here. I seen that look, man. I could look into a man's eye and I could see when he don't want it, man. And there was times in that fight when KELL Brook didn't want it, but Zarafa just didn't have the tools to keep the pressure on him. You know what I mean? So KELL Brook was able to dish out some offense of his own that seemed to work. And, you know what I'm saying, it brought his confidence up again. But somebody like Errol Spence, who's going to keep that pressure on him, who's going to bring it to him and keep on bringing it to him, man, I think his confidence and will be broken again, man. You know what I'm saying? But we'll see. You know what I'm saying? We'll see, man. But it's just a little, you know, a couple little things I want to talk about, man. We got Deontay Wilder. He got the big announcement tomorrow, the big press conference, man. I'm eager to see what he got to say, man. There's no doubt in my mind the fighter that he's going to fight is Dominic Breazeale, which is his mandatory challenger. But the big question is what platform he's going to fight on. You know what I mean? Is it going to be on Showtime? Is it going to be on Fox? Is it going to be on DAZN? Is it going to be on ESPN? Deontay Wilder is in a great position, man. He has a lot of options right now. You know what I'm saying? A lot of options to choose from, man. And, you know, it's got to be a hell of a feeling, man, to, you know, to be in that position where you feel wanted, man. These platforms want you, man. But, you know, from the outside looking in, man, it's like DAZN is offering you $50 million for 2 fights, and none of them is Anthony Joshua. Then they throw in the third fight, and with Anthony Joshua for $100 million, man, and heavyweight supremacy on the line. It's hard to think that Deontay Wilder won't take that fight. You know what I'm saying? There was a time when I thought that Anthony Joshua, you know, I thought he didn't want the Wilder fight. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, I'm quite sure that he didn't want the Wilder fight. But as of right now, I believe 100% that Anthony Joshua wants that fight. He wants it. You know what I'm saying? And he wants it next, man. You know what I'm saying? I do believe it. He wants it next. He now come to his senses. He wants it. Whatever he had to do, whether it was build his confidence or, you know, whatever it was, I believe he wants that fight now. You know what I'm saying? And Deontay Wilder, you know, he has a decision to make. So we'll wait till tomorrow. We'll wait till tomorrow and see what he got to say, man. But the whole world's waiting. The whole world's watching. The whole world wants that fight. You know what I'm saying? The question is, will we get it? You know, we'll see. We'll see tomorrow, man. I'll be back tomorrow after the news drops, man, to get with y'all and see where we can go from there, man. But I appreciate y'all tuning in. This is Big Faces Worldwide, man. You can catch me on social media at Big Faces Worldwide, all one word. You know what I'm saying? We could chop it up about boxing, man. But in the meantime and in between time, I want y'all to stay blessed and keep on supporting this boxing.